Hello, everybody. Once again, I'm in a shelter because I don't want to be interrupted. Yeah, there were alarms today, but the frequency of attacks is really going down, and it's like fewer and fewer missiles every time. Even though actually today in the morning it was kind of loud, and they ruined my sleep during the day and be awake during the night kind of mindset that I had, because they actually woke me up at like 8 a.m. because they suck. And yeah, those ones were loud. It's amazing. Like it happened today in the morning, but for me, it feels like it was so long ago. I already forgotten it happened. So I was like, yeah, no, it was only trickling. I don't remember anything happening today. And then as I was talking, I remember that happening. Anyway, so it's going good. Hello, hi, Jack. Nice to see you here. Hello, Call of Duty. So how you all doing? How you doing? I hope it's good. Actually, I think I figured out how to share audio this time, which is exciting. And not that I need it right now, but here. Actually, can I make it bigger? Like, don't want. There's so much extra. So I want to take a moment to dedicate some time to this clock here. So I think the clock here is basically a countdown to when Israel is about to be destroyed. And here's the thing, like I think it's set up to like 2040 or so. And I don't know if you guys were here when I had my previous live or when I had my talk with Apostate Prophet with Ridvan, and I told him, listen, like the infrastructure in Iran is deteriorating so fast that things are going to break down anyway because of mismanagement and because like they don't do the boring stuff like fixing things. And one of the funniest things is that this clock that counts how long it's left until we get annihilated doesn't have enough battery to actually complete the countdown. So let it be a symbolic anecdote about the situation in Iran, where even the so important clock that counts the time until Israel is finally removed from Earth in the middle of Tehran, this very, very important clock doesn't have enough battery life to actually complete the countdown. Just like if Iran would not have a regime change right now, everything would just break down until people would starve and die out of thirst and things like that. So very symbolic. All right, let me say hi to you all. Skitter. Updates on the damage to the oil refinery. Actually, I think my sister is there. I used to live in Haifa. This oil refinery was something I could see out of my window. I didn't ask, actually, what's up with the refinement. I actually didn't check, so I don't know. I also don't know if it's something that is supposed to be conveyed. Maybe it's one of those things that are supposed to be kept secret. I'm great. Hello, Jack. All right, who's here? Hey, Shanu, nice to see you here. I left a handsome Persian for you, and it was determined earlier in another stream that you were a Jewish Betty. Oh, thank you. I don't know what stream was that, but I like that. Thanks. By the way, I've been sitting on the floor this whole time. So you see, those are my knees, and I'm sitting on the floor. It's not the most comfortable setup, but it's better than losing you all because of, technical issues. Iranian propaganda machine claimed they destroyed Israeli Mossad headquarters. Yeah, I saw that. And I also saw the Mossad parody account commenting on that, saying that luckily nobody was hurt because all of our Mossad agents are now in Iran. So it was an empty building. But yeah. Hello. Okay, who's here? I've seen people freak out about Iran saying everyone will feel it, and that's the point. They want to end the world as we know it and bring the Mahdi. Yeah, it was always the point. It was always the point. And to be honest, Israel wasn't sure what kind of what would Iran choose, right? They could have, listen, they had a choice. They had a choice because they could have chosen to not react, to be like, you know what, Israel is attacking and we're going to pretend it didn't happen. This is what Assad did, right? So in 2007, when Israel attacked his almost like, you know, complete, what's called cool. Come on, you know, the nuclear facilities. I feel like there should be a better name, and I forgot it. It's in English. Anyway, when Israel did it in Syria in 2007, they just pretended nothing happened. They were like, what? What? No idea. Nothing happened. Nobody, like, you know, if a tree falls in the middle of a forest and nobody's there to witness, did it really fall? That was their mindset. In a way, the Iranians kind of could have done like it's kind of hard to ignore the fact that you get your you know, upper echelon eliminated, but they could have chosen not to react. They could have said, you know what, we're not going to react. We're going to be the better people here, and we'll be like, let's not send a barricade of missiles towards Israel, towards the civilian population of Israel. Like, I don't know, they could have played their cards differently, trying to be like, we're the bigger people. But they were like, you know what? We're going all the way. We're not backing down. Also, at some point, I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know how much control they even have anymore. Like, I'm not like if the command chain is broken down and people have ballistic missiles, can they just fire them on their own accord? So it's a question. Adine, what's up? How you doing? Do you have any cool news? Are you still here? Let me know. Actually, let's see. Have you gotten any interview set up for expansion of your channel? It's a little tense right now, but it could help spreading the message. I actually have an interview on Irfan's channel tomorrow. So that's another thing I have, but yeah. Do I think it's true that Khamenei is hiding in Pakistan? Doubt, actually. I doubt that. It's pretty far. I didn't read it out loud, which I think I should have. In the early hours of 13th of June, 200 Israeli jets struck Iranian nuclear and military sites in preemptive attack launched against the regime that built the public's doomsday clock counting down to 2040, when Khamenei vowed Israel would no longer resist. And again, that clock doesn't have enough battery life to actually count all the way down, which is very classic. So this is Ismail Fikri, a person that was his eyes are a bit funnily positioned, but anyway, he was blamed for cooperating with us and is executed. I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know how much it's true and how much they just grab random people to make a point, honestly speaking, to scare the population. I was saying, Shana, thank you for your support. I'm getting irritated with this with this hyper isolationist. It's literally like 5 ships and a couple of airplanes. They have Iraq derangement syndrome. No, they have Iranian money and Qatari money derangement syndromes, I think, honestly speaking. Yeah, but even back then, like when Iraq was brought down, like Netanyahu, first of all, Israel was not in favor of that to begin with, and if you go for it, like I think this is not what Netanyahu told them. The Americans were like, if you want to go and remove Saddam and I go full on Iraq, then you have to continue. You cannot stop in the middle and not continue to remove the Ayatollahs as well. Like this is job half done, and 70% or 60% of Iraq were actually Shiites who were under the thumb of the Sunni minority with Saddam Hussein and stuff. So it was pretty easy for the Iranians to arrange their own Shiite militias and take over Iraq. So Iraq became Iran's extension very fast. So it's different. Also the Iranian people are way more sophisticated. The population there is a lot more educated, smarter. And Iran, right? Iran was actually like Iran, Persia, that's an actual civilization. So there is some base. And right now the situation is, this is what I said in the title, is that the Iranians are, the internet all over Iran is blocked completely, which means probably the few Iranians that you get to see are those who somehow manage to bypass that, and those who are probably just, they have internet because they are, I don't know, closer to the plate or something. And I had this unpleasant exchange with some Iranian girl where she was like at some point cursing me because like Israelis and don't deserve a country and stuff. And then at some point I was like, you know what, maybe we should nuke them, because she annoyed me that much. And then I remembered, this is how I find my inner peace. When I have like Iranians who clearly have Israeli derangement symptoms and stuff like that, or even Americans or whatever, and I think like, oh, you know, why are we even cooperating with those countries? F them, F the population there. This is where I remember to breathe in, collect my inner peace, and leftists, remember Israeli leftists. And then I remember all those Israelis who are leftists. And I think, yeah, if I have those in my country, I cannot blame other countries for having this kind of phenomena. It's very peaceful. Listen, every time you hate on others or another country, like you really want to hate them, and it was like, why are we trying to get them to a better place, right? Why won't we just let them all starve and get to the point where their facilities deteriorate to the point they all die out of thirst? It's always good to remember the leftists and lunatics of your own country. I don't know, it works like magic when it comes to me. Maybe you guys are not as quick to anger as I am. But, you know, getting hit by a barrage of missiles, and then there are like ungrateful Iranians who think like, how dare you, like, why can't you just target the regime without hurting civilians, blah, 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 while we are hiding in shelters and I'm like sitting on the floor doing lives from a shelter, like when it's very uncomfortable. And like, and my friend's house was hit, and like, you know, and like, I have my siblings spread all over the country, and thank goodness they each and every one of them had a missile land next to their homes. And like, you know what? Yeah, your civilians are gonna suffer too. We're suffering for your freedom, because of your lunacy. No, you could have like taken care of your shit and make Iran great and do whatever, and no, and we would have not suffered, and the Arab countries that you ruined would have suffered less, even though they're Arabs. I think they would have suffered anyway. Honestly, I cannot. I'm a very bad liar. I just don't think Arabs would have found a way without the Iranians. I just believe they would have. Like, if there is something in the world I can always trust, is the ability of Arabs to self-sabotage. Okay, I know it's the kind of things that, like, the sun rises in the east and the Arabs fuck themselves again. It's very, very, very. Anyway, so, but Iran has a better potential to get out of it faster, which is like, and then maybe the Arabs would follow, maybe they'd be like, okay, if we have good examples around us that you can do differently, then we can follow and be better. Good for you. But anyway, yeah, so while they were crying and I was thinking my thoughts about, how dare you, I'm a civilian, why am I suffering? For you, for your sake, for your freedom. Breathe in, and remember the leftists in your own country. Really brings inner peace and ability to accept others. Rebecca is in a surly teenager mood today. Yeah, yep, that's me today. Atheist gamer, what I'm saying. You have made a few videos about UK being in danger, etc. UK Muslim population is as a percentage is lower than Israel's. Is Israel also in danger from within, or is it different from the UK for some reason? Yes. First of all, it is different, and second, it is in danger. So yes to both, because it's always something that always needs to be monitored. But the reason it's different is because the people who are in the UK came as immigrants, and immigrants, hijrah is part of the ways that you could do jihad. So the Quran has a description of using immigration as a way of jihad to take over a place, versus Israeli Arabs. First of all, you have to, a lot of them moved because of economic opportunities, because of the Jews, right? They followed the Jews because the Jews brought developed the country, and there were economic opportunities, and the Arabs came. And at that time, back then, it was, I don't know what the literacy level or the level of familiarity was with the scriptures of the Quran and Islam was anyway. It's what people a lot of time ask me, why are Albanians different? Why are Persians different? Well, if you cannot read your stupid sources, then you're not going to know what it says. If you don't know what they say, then there are better chances of you not acting accordingly, right? If you claim to be Muslim while you don't have no idea what the Quran says, then you're not going to act like a Muslim. You're just going to think you are a Muslim without being a Muslim. So this is a thing. So the Arabs, but it's not but with time they knew more and more and more, and they became more and more and more violent, and there was a war. And you can say that 1947, 1936, 1933, 1920, there were several civil wars. And 1947 and 48, they lost. So there were people like Muhammad Khaddad, which is the father of what's her name? The models, the stupid models, Gigi Hadid, maybe Hadid, and Bella Hadid. Yeah, those two stupid models. Their father. There is an interview with him, and he asked why did like, why did he leave Israel? Like, why did he move to Lebanon or outside of Israel? And he said, like, well, I think it's his father. His father was like, I'm a proud Muslim. I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna live under Jewish rule. I'm out. So those who said, I'm a proud Muslim, I would not accept a Jewish rule over me, were out, right? They couldn't accept it. So those who stayed, submitted. You win Islam, like Islam is submission. So you just move them from one submission to a different submission. They understand force. So that's what they get. So people here are like, they didn't, most of them, they're historically, they didn't do it, or they cannot justify doing that as part of jihad. It's more of a part of submission than it is a part of jihad. So it depends. Shauna Thurton, I really want you to talk to Roseanne Barr sometime. It would be the most fascinating conversation to watch, I think. I agree. Oh my God, I would love to. She's fun. I would really, really love to. So that's a great idea. And thank you, Shauna, for your support. I actually need to check. I will check it. Anyway, guys, like, if you ever like have like if you have an interaction with somebody from a different country and you think, oh gee, I wish this country would get nuked, because obviously you have thoughts like that, always remember the leftists in your own backyard. It brings inner peace back. Yes. And just because we have them in Israel doesn't mean they're the majority, but damn, they make so much noise. Damn, those leftists in Israel, they make so much noise. You'd think they are the majority with how much more noise they make, but they're not. Like, they make so much noise all over Twitter and stuff. Like, how do they take over like that? I have no idea how they manage to sound like they're... It's same with Tucker Carlson, whatever. I don't know how many people on the right really believe the shit they're saying. But you know what? Here's the thing. People like understand when people face them and tell them and put boundaries, right? So this is what Mr. President Trump did with Tucker Carlson and others, where he said, like, no, Iran is not going to have nuclear power. It doesn't make sense. You dimwit idiots, something like that. I think that's what he said. And Dan Pollock, thank you for purchasing a book. By the way, if you want to support me and buy me coffee, I don't have the... I'm using... Oh, this is a good question, Mark. So Dan Pollock bought a book and I want to read his comments. But Rebecca, when are we going to see you dancing again? I want to dance when Khamenei is dead. Yes. And I think I should also dance when Iran is finally, like, fixed. Dan Pollock bought a book. There are 3 oil transport ships on fire in the Persian Gulf. This means a big hit to global industry. Here's hoping this works. Industry includes weapons manufacturing and energy production. Yes, and don't forget that it's not the only thing. There is another. Dan Pollock bought a book. Cool, this comes in app form now. Oh, okay, thank you for your support. So another thing, like, they also, the Suez Canal situation, I mean, the Red Sea situation with Yemen, it does also cripples world economy. And obviously anyway, they, like I said before, like, they had a choice. They had a choice and they chose to react. And now it looks like they're choosing the we're going to blow up with the world kind of setting. But I don't know how much it would work for them. It looks like they cannot even do that with how much they were caught by surprise and taken care of neatly and nicely. Jack, thank you. You should make a gaming channel when this comes. You think? I don't know how to game. I'm such a bad gamer, though. I don't know how I can do this. Yes. Rebecca, while understanding your sentiment for leftish, don't you think it's more about stupidity than political inclination? That's a good question. So, maybe. It's a hard question. You just broke my brain right now. You could say that, I guess. But in my mind, they are leftists because I think of leftists as like people who are collectivists and as of people who are, I don't know, maybe, I guess. I just, in Israel, it's like, in Israel, it's pretty clear, honestly speaking. I don't know a lot of people who are right-wing and act like that. So it's just that in Israel, it's just very clear that it's left and right that are like that. But I agree that it's not necessarily a statement that could be made everywhere. All right. So I want to share with you. Okay. Has Khamenei been captured? I don't know. Khomeini is dead a long time ago. He died in 89. You talk about Khamenei? Okay. Alhamdu Shawarma Ibn Tahini. Hello. Thank you for your support. Tutorial to start a game channel. 1. Bigger glasses. 2. Choose a popular game. 3. Out halfway. Congrats. You are a girl gaming channel. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your tips. Okay, I think, okay, this is important, but this has no translation. I want to choose. Oh, by the way, this is, let me share this. So again, this setting. So look at that. So this, he says like, that this is something like Israel using such a technology made a lot of Arabs, the Arab world, like underestimate the abilities of the Israeli armed forces, like our armies. And people is like, oh, this is something that ended up being the best misleading kind of video ever, because people thought that since Israel is using medieval tactics to fight in Lebanon, they must run out of modern abilities. I don't know. And everybody were like, oh, look at them, they can't do anything. Anyway, now that we are bringing down Iran. So this is new. Israel estimates that Iran has around 1,800 missiles remaining in its arsenal. And that's unrelated. So this is, by the way, okay, so this is something I saw. I also saw it like on personal, like people on messages like people got directly. where Iranians are sending coordinates of different places to strike. So some persons that I know like share that somebody sent them a secret facility, a secret army facility to strike, and this one is a request to strike the buildings that are responsible on the internet, where they control the internet. So they control the internet here, and they're like inside Iran, and they're like, okay, here are the coordinates, attack this, which is incredible. And I also saw it in private, like people doing that, getting those messages in private. Another thing is bloody hell, Iran's ambassador to Russia has just slammed Putin after he withdrew support for IRGC. Our people will never forget who stood with us during these times and who chose not to do nothing. So okay, so I think this might have, no, this doesn't have. I want to have here. Okay, so this one has it's got the good old
خامنه‌ای همچون
subtitles. By the way, can you hear it now? Is the sound all right? Oh, I want to see, what did Shauna say? Shauna, love you. Okay, question. How is Judaism different than collectivism? I think it's different, but how to explain it? Interesting. Judaism has a funny balance when it comes to that, because your actions are individual and you have individual responsibility, and also there is a lot of difference in opinion, but you also have responsibility for others. So there is like some sort of collectivism in that. So you are responsible. I don't know. It just people like, have you met Jews? It's like they have this collective mindset of saying, okay, we have to take care of each other, but then individually they tend to operate the way they think, and it's like they go all over the place. It's very hard to coordinate anything with Jews, believe me. It's very apparent in the world I'm at, like the thought like we would have, for example, some united front of and how we present ourselves to the world, or how Israel explains their actions. It's like it doesn't work. Like Israelis, Jews cannot coordinate like a narrative to sound to the world, right? It's just that because we have the similar morality, similar understanding of the world, it comes out to it ends up being more likely than not that we all come from the same place. But yeah, it's an interesting question. It's more like, yeah, it's an interesting balance actually. But thank you. All right, let's hear Reza Pahlavi. By the way, I like it. I had someone ask me like, what do I think he should say several times, and one of the things that I said is like, wear a solid color, because he went on and made a video wearing stripes, and I was like, he should wear solid colors. And this is the one thing I got a feedback on, when he says like, well, he really does like patterns, but as you can see, he did wear a solid color shirt. But apparently he really likes patterns, which is so cute. It's such a cute thing to know. It's like, okay, fine, I'll wear something solid, but I really like my patterns. Such a cute thing to say. And the other thing is that I said that it needs to be clear that those who defect, or those who change alliances, and those who were part of the regime would not be punished unless they committed a grave crime for whatever they did in the regime. Like, we need them to switch sides. So he did it, but halfway. And there are other things that I suggested, honestly speaking, and not just my suggestions. I went around and asked different people like what they think, which was interesting to get their input. But so I collected all those ideas and passed it on. But yeah, but I like the way he said it, I think.
میهنانم جمهوری اسلامی به پایان خود رسیده و در حال سقوط است. خامنه‌ای همچون موشی هراسان
No, I have to say that, like, whoever, like, I'm not the only one that they asked, right? They asked a lot of people because it's like, because we get to talk to, I don't know why, actually. I think they asked me for an unknown reason. Somebody was impressed by the way I dissect the Iranians. So they were like, you seem to understand the Iranians. And I'm like, okay, I can try. So they asked me, but yeah. You think Shah Reza Pahlavi will be reinstated? Honestly speaking, not really. Like, I have my thoughts, but I think I should keep them to myself. Like, I think some things I should keep to myself, honestly speaking. I think he's great. I think he would be, he has a very important job of meditating between the diaspora and the Iranians inside Iran. The reality is that most Iranians in the diaspora were kind of cut off from many inside Iran. And a lot of them really do support Reza Pahlavi. And the problem is that inside Iran is not as popular, probably, maybe. I don't want to say too much, but like, so it's like the outside Iranians are kind of trying to convince the Iranians that are inside of Iran to follow him, which I think is a good idea, because I think he can very much be trusted with that transitional period. So if he's going to be reinstated like as an actual Shah or something, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He needs to play his part in right now. The trust between Iranians is very low, and you need to have some figure that is trusted enough to even mediate between the different sections and segments of society. So I think he could play that role, but it's not my country. And honestly speaking, like, even if he, it can be reinstated for some time. Like, it depends what is the right thing. If nobody steps up, somebody has to step up. And right now there is no leadership inside Iran. So that's the reality of it. There is nothing inside, but also you cannot really lead a state from the outside. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So my assumption is that at some point a leader would rise from the inside, and they could work together to reach the gap between the outside world and the inside world in Iran and versus the diaspora. Yeah, I knew I was saying it funny. Okay, sorry. Don't meditate, Reza Pahlavi. Just mediate. Yes, mediate. Sorry. Shana, thank you for supporting. And I learned recently that the differences between classical Greek religion and classical Roman religion was individual honor versus family and collective honor. Interesting. I didn't know that. So is Greek individual and Roman collective or family, or vice versa? Like, which one is which? Thank you for your educational tips and actual tips as well. Thank you. All right, let's continue watching. So I want to salute whoever, the fact, or whoever, it might be Reza himself, who said Khamenei like frightened rat, because they like calling us rats for hiding in shelters. They're like, oh, look at those Israelis, they're in shelters like rats. I don't know why they're so proud of wanting to, well, like, you know, if you attacked indiscriminately, obviously you have to go to shelter. But they're like, oh, listen, look at the Israelis, they all go to shelters like rats. I mean, to be honest, Khamenei should be a frightened rat. His position means that he should act like a rat. But, you know, he's supposed to be a leader.
زیر زمین پنهان شده و کنترل اوضاع را از دست داده است. آنچه آغاز شده برگشت ناپذیر است. آینده روشن است.
I want to also say that what has begun is how did he say it exactly? Wait, how do I? What had started, like it's unstoppable. It's okay. What has begun is irreversible. That is really true, because first of all, like the IRGC, like they don't trust each other, and if they don't have a clear leader, they're gonna fall apart by themselves. But what has begun is irreversible is because now that they have, you know, I said like deterioration is slow, but when you get actual strikes on your infrastructure, that means you have to find capable people fast. And that means that no matter what, like this situation cannot continue. And so, yeah, I also think that this is now irreversible. Like there is no way they're going to be the same people in the same positions. Krishna again, namaste. Will Moab be dropped and USA openly enter? Thank you for your question. I actually saved a tweet of someone who does military, like weapons and military intelligence. He talked about the Moab's role and like what's gonna be happening, like how Moab could be used. So I want to read that, and then will USA openly enter? I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's either like, I don't totally understand when Trump said we. Does it mean that they are already there, or what did he mean? Like, what did he mean when he said that Americans already? I heard several sources that claim that Americans already joined. It sure seems like everything is moving to that direction. So I mean, you know, since Israel had done the first, the part where, you know, they made the airspace safe, now whoever wants to join can join without any fear. Like, what's gonna happen to you? Nothing. Like if Israel owns the airspace, right? It's not like you're risking anything by getting bad PR of your plane falling or something getting hit. And so that's it. It's like the door is open, whoever, it's an empty room, everybody who wants to enter and party can enter and party. Hu Jintao, free thinker, thank you for support. Please read in Trump's voice. He died. Oh, I cannot do Trump impersonations. I'm so bad at it. He died. Wait, he died like a dog. I cannot do it. Why am I so bad at doing Trump's I actually think I'm really bad with impersonations in general. He died like a dog. I don't know. I cannot do it. He cried. I wouldn't have cried. I say, don't cry, Khamenei. Don't cry. 72 whores. Don't like cry babies. That is funny. Thank you for your support. I'm so sorry to disappoint you. Shauna, thank you for supporting. Greek is individual like the hero, and Roman is collective like glory to Rome. I understand. Amazing. I also think like, so somebody, I think one of the comments I got, maybe it was an IP, I don't remember, in one of the live streams, where I said that my mom's Ukrainian friend called crying, saying thank you because Israel destroyed the manufacturing facilities of the drones or missiles or whatever of weaponry that was used to attack her homeland. And somebody in the comments was like, why? Like, why did she thank her? Like, what did your mom even do? And I was thinking, you know what? My mom sent all of her children to the army. My mom had to tolerate people going to, if you don't, my mom had to tolerate my siblings going into being reservist and being like in different life-risking missions. And I think, my mom did a lot more than the average Western even understands. Like the average Western does not have all of his children like, and it's normal. It's like, but it's just that this is what Israelis do. And if it wasn't like that, if it weren't, you asked like before, like Shana, you talked about the collective versus the individual. If it weren't for almost every Israeli mom, right, tolerating that, supporting that, doing their job, me being here, standing in front of the camera and talking to people, like, I don't want to, like, you know what? Yes, my mom did a lot. And my mom runs to shelter every night for that to happen. So maybe she's not exactly the pilot that is flying the jet right now, but she did a lot. Like like if we didn't all do our parts, nothing like that could have been done. It's everybody's job. And as everybody, you know what? Yes, sometimes it is glory for the whole nation of Israel. I don't think there is an Israeli who didn't do something for it to happen. And if it wasn't that we would all do that, if it wasn't that we would all individually did our individual, used, our individual abilities and our individual, whatever each one of us had to offer, then yes, you know what? Yes, it would not have happened. It wouldn't have happened. So yeah, yes, my mom deserves a thank you. Yes, I think she does. I honestly think that when the IDF struck that facility and my mom's friend called my mom to say thank you, my mom deserved it. My mom was given everything she could, her most precious assets, so that wouldn't be possible. So yes, I think my mom deserves a thank you, 100%. Yes. Shoti Patak, thank you for your support. Khamene reminds me of Indian dish, khaman dokra. Well, I don't know what's this Indian dish. I feel like I should try it now. Okay. I want to say, all right, so what has begun is irreversible, 100%. Oh, why is it stuck? Come on, don't be stuck. Why did it get stuck?
همیهنانم. خامنه‌ای همچون موشی هراسان زیر زمین پنهان شده و کنترل اوضاع را از دست داده است. آنچه آغاز شده برگشت ناپذیر است. آینده روشن است و ما با هم از این پیچ تند تاریخ عبور خواهیم کرد. در این روزهای دشوار دل من با همه شهروندان بی‌دفاعی است که آسیب دیدند و قربانی جنگ طلبی و توهمات خامنه‌ای شدند. من سالها کوشیدم تا میهنمان گرفتار آتش جنگ نشود. پایان جمهوری اسلامی پایان جنگ 46 ساله آن با ملت ایران است. دستگاه سرکوب رژیم در حال فروپاشی است. تنها یک خیزش همگانی لازم است تا این کابوس برای همیشه پایان یابد. اکنون زمان ایستادن است. زمان بازپسگیری ایران. همه با هم، از بندر عباس تا بندر انزلی، از شیراز تا اصفهان، از تبریز تا زاهدان، از مشهد تا اهواز، از شهر کرد تا کرمانشاه به صحنه بیاییم. پایان این رژیم را رقم بزنیم. نگران فردای پس از سقوط جمهوری اسلامی نباشید. ایران دچار جنگ داخلی و بی‌ثباتی نخواهد شد. ما برای آینده ایران و شکوفایی‌اش برنامه داریم. ما برای 100 روز نخست پس از سقوط، دوران گذار و استقرار یک حکومت ملی و دموکراتیک برای ملت ایران و به دست ملت ایران آماده ایم. خطاب به نیروهای نظامی و انتظامی، امنیتی و دولتی که این روزها بسیاری از آنها به من پیام می‌فرستند. برای حفظ رژیمی که سقوط آن آغاز شده و حتمی است، روبروی ملت ایران نایستید. خود را فدای رژیم پوسیده نکنید. با ایستادن در کنار ملت، جان خود را حفظ کنید. در گذار از جمهوری اسلامی نقشی تاریخی ایفا کنید و در ساختن آینده ایران سهیم باشید. ایران آزاد و آباد پیش روی ماست. باشد که به زودی در کنار شما باشم. پاینده ایران، زنده باد ملت ایران.
I kind of wish he spoke about the Iranian minorities in more detail, honestly. But I actually saw that Israel, there are claims by talking about America joining in. Seems like it's happening. Okay. There's this, I saw that Danny Denon had a message. Gonna see when it was. 1 second, it just happened. Okay. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Skeeter, thank you for your support. Wasn't your mom also a refusenik? Refusenik? What's a refusenik? So, like you mean in Aliyah, right? Yeah, I'm guessing. Refusenik. Is that how it's called? Yeah, like opposing the USSR. Save some balls for the rest of us later. Also read the Buy Me book stuff. I have blown small fortune. Oh, sorry, I forgot checking. I'm so sorry. Okay. Thank you, Skeeter. Okay, let me go to check what's on Buy Me Coffee. Slow person. Thank you. Okay, let me remove this for a second. Okay, so of course, we have fun messages here. Like we know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. Amazing. But I want to share, I saw right now that Danny Danon said something to the Iranian people in the UN. I want to share it. Of course, unconditional surrender by Trump. Wow, my favorite thing is how he talked to Tucker Carlson, but I'm going to find it later. Okay, see, where is it? Oh, here.
Of
Okay,
Iran.
I'm gonna.
Mardume Iran, I have an important message for the people of Iran. Mardume Iran, Mubarazema Zada Shumanist, Balkazeda Rajimiast, Kabeshuma Zolam Mikoned.
Is it gonna be all in Persian? This is our ambassador to the UN, so that in the note. Did you make the whole message in Persian for the Persian people? Okay, but I have no idea.
People
what
of Iran,
okay, it's gonna.
our fight is not against you. Rather, it is against the regime that oppresses you. We fight the same regime that murders your daughters for demanding freedom. The same regime that suppresses your voices, poisons your rivers, burns your votes, and sends your sons to die for its delusions. We know the truth. You are not our enemies. You are the first and most tragic victims of the Ayatollahs. I have an important message.
Nice, very important message. Actually, it is important. What's going on? Okay. Wow, okay. I have a lot of messengers here. Where do I start? Why doesn't it say date? Weird. I got I got the Dan Pollock saying, check, does this work? Yes, so here's the thing, I'm using StreamYard right now because I realized that the OBS is too, like it buffers too long, it's too hard on the computer to actually make the internet work properly. So I'm using this, but the thing I haven't figured out is how to connect the Buy Me Coffee plugin to this platform yet. I'm sorry, so I'll just read it from my straight from there. So here, don't fuck it, even if it doesn't work. Cleaning up a victory is expensive and takes a long time, like Germany and Japan and the Confederacy. It takes time and money in politics to flip country after defeat. Yeah, that's for sure. Cool. This comes in app form now. I must start sending more messages. Thank you. Maybe I pissed you off, whatever. Not the first time I pissed off a broad or a Jew for that. Come on, you didn't piss me off. I just explained it right now. You guys, it's not your fault. It's my fault. Krishna Gaming, this chat is awesome and hilarious. Half of the reason why I come here is, and the other half being Rebecca's stream. I agree. By the way, I realized that sometimes the chat is way more fun than me, and like you guys talk among yourselves, and at some point, like I lose track of your conversations, and I what happened? Why was it loading? So yeah, for some reason, you guys still demand me to do some work anyway. So yeah. Rebecca, let's talk about you. Well, you know what? Ask me questions. What do you want to know about me? Yeah, I know. Stream got stuck for a second. I saw that. It was like black and loading. Rebecca, you're coming to hike across Iran once it's free. You know what I think? I think Israelis, like I think Iran should sponsor like Israelis trips to Iran. Like I think we deserve to this generation at least. Like if we come like with a proof of concept, like, okay, what did you do to liberate Iran? And then we say, well, I did this and that. Like, for example, I served in the military, or I talked in support of the Iranian people online, and like on my YouTube channel, and told everyone that you are a great civilization, and that to believe in you, and that you can be better. Like, don't you think we deserve a free trip to Persia? Yeah, I think we do. I think this is something I think this is an idea. I don't think Iranians can see this great idea right now because their internet is blacked out, but just throwing it out there. Are there Iranians here on the live chat right now? Nobody? Okay, fine. Okay, let's see what other new exciting things are happening right now as we speak. Oh, saying latest news, Trump said no more negotiations with Iran regime. Yes, congratulations. Good idea. Rebecca, a lot of Iranians in the chat. Oh, cool. Are you from inside Iran? Amazing. Okay. Am Israel Chai from Iran. Well, I need to learn. What's the Iranian chant? It's like woman, freedom, life, but like what? How is it? Like it's very melodic in Persian, from what I remember. So I wonder. Who is here? Who is here? Ah, thank you. Thank you. John P. Sipper. Oh, are you the one who sent me an email saying, hello, my dear, I'm Iranian in Iran. Know that if the Iran regime stop the internet in Iran, know that US and Israel bombing Iran, and they will finish the Islamic Republic in Iran. Please stay with the Iranian people. I really love this email. I'm guessing it's you, but thank you. Zan Zengdi Azadi. Zan Zendegi Azadi. Zan Zendegi Azadi. I need to remember. I need to write it down so I will never forget. Zan Zendegi Azadi. Zan Zendegi Azadi. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, I'll forget in a second anyway. Zendegi Azadi. I'm actually writing it down. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. How are you doing? I kind of want to hear, are any Iranians, how is the situation with the internet? Like, also if you're, Elon Musk activated Starlink in Iran. I know, but to activate Starlink in Iran, there are like components. I know the person who smuggled them in. I know who smuggled like it's been a long time operation to get those components inside Iran with Elon Musk. It's been like it was like planned for a while before the regime, before the attack, which is cool. And one of the things, like when there was this fight between Trump and Elon, some people were like, okay, is Elon gonna uphold his part with opening Starlink? And he did. So that was nice. Yeah, saying super bad. Yeah, super bad net. I know there aren't enough, right? So yeah, Starlink. So everybody who's here managed to get Starlink. Yeah, you need ground-based equipment to use Starlink. Yeah. Zan. So you read the k like a g? So you read it not zan the ki, you read it zan the g, as a d. Yeah, as a d. Okay. My people in the Iran are sick of the mullah. We are also very sick of the mullah, believe me. Do you know if it's true that if Ahmadinejad was assassinated or not? Do you guys have any idea if it happened or not? I didn't see any confirmations. I only saw rumors thus far. And this little piece of shit, it was the nightmare of my childhood. We're gonna destroy Israel. I remember that. Yes, free Persia. Oh, somebody failed attempt apparently. That's unfortunate. He posted, "I'm still alive." That's very sad. Oh well, we can try again, I guess. We should keep trying. That monkey was a nightmare of my little Rebecca. I mean, it does look a lot like a monkey. Ahmadinejad. Also had this name, Ahmadinejad. Yeah. Hello, Petar from Bulgaria. Okay, I have a question. So how many do you think, what percentage of the regime is actually like believes all the doomsday religious ideology that they have? Like, how many do you think would go all the way because of like religious belief? I don't know if you could answer that, but I'm curious. Wonder Freeman. I don't think you're Iranian, but you're guessing 25%. And you're Everedi, I don't know how to read it, 60 to 70%. Are you Iranian? I don't know. Okay. Oh, this is I didn't know this is something you can fight over, but it's funny, so I'm sharing with you. So this is the Israeli military spokesman in Arabic, Avichai, and here's what's his name? Are they both Avichai? Because that's the Persian military spokesperson. But what's his name? Is it also Avichai? I don't know. Yeah, much love to Persian people. You know I love you, but let's be real, our Avichai is way better. Is just better than yours. Really? Are they both named Avichai? I didn't know that. It's so funny. No, that's priceless. Okay, let's see what's happening. What's happening in the world? I don't know what that is. That's unrelated. Okay, this is Druze. Anything new? People talking about the woke right. Vice President Vance is right. 10 years ago this week, on the very first day he announced he was running, President Trump said, "I will stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons." Oh, I think now that we having all that information resurfacing, if he doesn't bomb the facility in Fordo, it would be like, that wouldn't look good on his ego. I think that would not be good. Let's hear him. Let's hear Trump.
I will stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons, and we won't be using a man like Secretary Kerry that has absolutely no concept of negotiation, who's making a horrible and laughable deal, who's just being tapped along as they make weapons right now. I will stop Iran.
Very interesting. Very interesting. It sounds like you gotta get your bunker busters out, Mr. President. Or the way, Marilyn Monroe said it, Mr. President. Okay, let me share this. This is older stuff. So this is heavy Israeli, so this is 3 hours ago. Strikes hitting Tehran with multiple fires reported across the city. This is also Tehran. Boom. This is people talking about why Hezbollah is not talking. By the way, the German chancellor had declared that Israel is doing a favor to the world. And I even feel like the Germans would have tried to, like, they would have joined in if they had something to join in with to finish the job. Because I also saw somewhere that he was like, yeah, Germany should help finish the job. I don't know if they have anything that could finish any job, but that's okay. So this is the interesting tweet I wanted to. So somebody asked about Moab. So it says Chalta Barta, which is bullshit. Moab or GBU 43, that has nothing to do with the attack in Iran or the Fordo facility. It's not really a useful weapon. What we really need for Fordo is a GBU 57 or MOP, that is a unique bunker busters, heavy bunker buster bomb that was developed specifically to destroy Fordo. So yeah, so that's the comment. Somebody asked me before about the using Moab, but yeah, this is what Daniel Lisovotsev had to say, and his expertise, or his claimed expertise, is weaponry, which I say claimed because it's not my expertise, so I have no way to verify him, so I just choose to believe. I'm not going to check every bomb here, whether you could use Moab or not could use Moab, or do you have to use the MOP bomb? Does the MOP bomb exist at all? Like, I'm not going to check all those things. I'm going to believe him. So just so you know. All right. Oh, so somebody tagged me in that and said that Cheryl and a posted Prophet offered a nice takedown of the Matt Walsh Charlie Kirk position in his recent live stream with. Really? We talked about it? I encourage your audience to check it out. Oh, wow. We took a nice Okay, so apostate prophet offered a nice take. I took part of doing the takedown. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, cool. I thought he just tagged me so I would check this person out and what he was saying. But apparently I already did do something about it. I am surprised.
That is what John Bolton is saying.
Now, what did it even say?
Take out the mullahs, knock them out. You got John Bolton who's getting a little excited.
Like, why are they so eager to open a camera and say shit they're gonna regret in a couple of hours anyway? I don't get it. Just like hold your breath. I know why, because they get views and views is money. That's why they like, I saw so many videos and all I could think is like, oh my God, why don't I do that? Why don't I just open a video, say nothing of value for 5 minutes, just make up facts, never check them. Why do I even bother? It's, how hard it is to understand what's going on in the inside and like talking to everybody and how much time I waste on it. Is this even appreciated? I don't think so. They're rich, I'm not, so that's my rant. First cancel, thank you for support. What are you saying? Sorry for non-Iran sidetrack. Why do so many Americans really hate Israel and literally just echo Mein Kampf conspiracy theories like Nick Fuentes? Because why not? I don't know. Because listen, like it's more about the formula than it is about the content. And the reality is that even the communistic manifesto and stuff, guess what? Those ideas are way more ancient, and every time they were written with different words, they became popular. Some things just work. They sound good to some people. Like think about that. Okay, think about, there are always people who are angry and hateful and spiteful, and look who to get their anger on. So some things just work because these people look for some kind of something that would comfort them and something to direct money to. So and yeah, you're always gonna have those people like uneducated people would always think that sharing things is the best, right? That it makes the most sense that everybody should share everything. Like, it just, the way people think, it's just normal. So it works. People who, I love what James Lindsay did, where he sent like a little bit of a tweaking of the Communist Manifesto to a so-called right-wing magazine, and they published it. He didn't even change the name. He was like, instead of calling himself Karl Marx, he called himself Charles Maximus, something funny, and they published it. Like, oh, this is great stuff. No, it's because people think the same way, and if they're uneducated, they didn't know those stupid ideas were tried before. I also did a video on anti-Semitism, and I was like, at some point, somebody was like, how come nobody figured out that the problem with the Jews is genetic? And I was like, are you kidding? Like, you really think nobody figured out that the problem with the Jews is genetic? Like, did you try the race theory? Like, people are stupid. Skitter, thank you for support. I say stupid shit because I'm an American. There is nothing you can do to stop me. Yes, exactly. Yeah, they have like it speaks for the American base. And I think it makes sense for Americans to like hearing Americans more than other than other people. So yeah, that's what it is. Somebody's saying, you've got 2 for 2. You mean that, what do I have 2 for 2? Like I don't know what I'm talking about and I go live? Now, I work hard to get to my level of not knowing enough. Like, I just, it takes a lot of work to get to my level of not knowing, just so you know. Way more than they put on, because they just go with like 0 effort. They just have a like more not knowing.
Let me translate for you right now. He writes in the Wall Street Journal, and you guys know I'm pro-Israel. I don't think I need to prove that any further. I have the scars to prove that I'm pro-Israel from all the campus events. Iran's Ayatollahs are weaker than ever. Let me tell you what John Bolton is really saying here. He's basically saying that we should go for the throat and we need to execute regime change. That is what John Bolton is saying in neocon speak, in so many words. But did you know that we only have a problem in Iran at the scale and the magnitude that we currently have because we involved ourselves in regime change? America has a long history of regime change with Iran. Historically, Iran was then called Persia way back in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. It was ruled by a Shah, an absolute monarch.
I see where it's going. I mean, I think France and Britain was even more involved in 79 specifically. I don't know, though. Sometimes things just happen. And it's hard to, I don't know. Anyway, what do you think Israelis get the most wrong about Americans? Like, biggest misconception? What Israelis get wrong about Americans? Some Israelis have a tendency to really admire. By the way, this is a way to know if somebody is a leftist or not, I think, is how much they admire Americans. Some Israelis are like, okay, if an American said it, it's like they get super excited that an American said it. But it's kind of a retarded kind of behavior, if you ask me. So, I mean, I guess some people do it on the right as well. When people really admire Trump or something. But on the other hand, like, Trump is a big character. It's not like a random American. So I don't know. I don't like it either way. Just something about, okay, the Americans are like smarter and greater. No, they just have a bigger country, not necessarily that they're smarter and greater. But I think a lot of Israelis have this kind of mindset. Is it weird? Which it's not like being wrong. It's just not understanding that people are people, It's kind of, I don't know if it makes sense.
During World War II, the British and the Soviets invaded Iran because they were worried that it would ally with Hitler. They deposed the ruling Shah, throwing the country into turmoil. The Shah's son took power, but then he was overthrown too. Iran came under the rule of a prime minister who had a lot of popular support. But to be honest, he was kind of a communist. He wanted to nationalize the oil. His name was Mossadegh. He was not a great guy. He basically tried to make himself a dictator. He tilted towards the Soviet Union, and he was hostile to American economic interests. So our leaders got in their heads that they should overthrow him. So they said, this guy is bad. How could anything get worse than Mossadegh? But he was largely secular. He was not Islamic. So we, in our American mind, said, this guy is terrible. He's a communist. Take him out. What could be worse than Mossadegh? So we did.
I actually didn't listen to it before, I think.
And by the way, our government lied about it for years.
Or maybe I listened to it, but like I forgot already because it wasn't important.
Years. The CIA and MI6 assisted the Iranian military in overthrowing Mossadegh. They lied about it, and finally declassified files showed that, no, we were involved and we got rid of the democratically elected, somewhat communistic Mossadegh, interfering with the self-determination of the Iranian people. Because we said, what could be worse than this guy? Well, we reinstalled the Shah, and look, the Shah was...
I don't get it. It was the right thing to do. What is he crying about? That was a good thing to do.
An autocrat. He was also super sick and very weak. He was not able to really run the country. But hey, he was anti-communist and pro-America. But he was not popular in his country. And since he was America's guy, that made America...
Yeah, okay. So they did it in the 50s. You understand that the Shah held the country until the 79. That is several decades. It's weird to me to jump so far back. Like there are like at least 20 years in between. So for several decades, they prolonged a reformist, more modernized Iran for 20 more years. What's the problem?
Much more unpopular in Iran. And then in the 1970s, Iran had another revolution because of us. And this is when Islam surfaced. A group of radical...
Like, I'm sorry, 20 years is a long time. I don't know. Like, you start with a Shah, and if he managed to survive being sick and weak, like he claims here, for another 20 years at least, that's impressive.
Radical Islamic students launched demonstrations against the regime, and eventually they overthrew the Shah. They recalled an exiled Islamic cleric, the infamous Ayatollah Khomeini, back from exile, and they made him...
Yeah, but that was the French, not the Americans, from what I remember. The French flew him over. And also, let's be honest, okay? There was real uprising, okay? And the only way that could have been dealt with is a very unpleasant way, because there is no negotiating with terrorists. And it's true that there was maybe not that much of the will to do whatever it takes to do to get to, once the students and the okay, imagine there is a resurrection between the Red and Green Alliance in the United States, and they would take over, and the only way to stop them from taking over, you cannot talk to them. There is nobody to talk to with those pro-Palestine infested students. Unfortunately, when it comes to it, you'd probably have to put them in jail or shoot them. And for that, you have to wake up to the reality of having religious zealots taking over the streets. Would America be able to stop that from happening in its own streets? That's the question as well. And the question is like at what percentage would be already too hard to do so? So that's what I think. I don't know. So this is what I remember from what happened back then. I'm not making excuses. I agree it might have been managed better. But it was the worst. I kind of want to get your intakes on it, because it's very hard to understand what happened, since most of the history sources that summarize it are tinted with different ideologies. So if there are Iranians who have memories from that era and can say something different, the impression I got mostly is that actually what had to be done was so brutal that it should have been managed in a way that is a lot smarter. I don't know. Some things are difficult, honestly speaking. So I don't know. Sometimes things are difficult. And I think it's time for us to be able to like get over a little bit of the trauma that we had on World War II and have like adult conversations about, okay, what happens if things are hard there to deal with. I don't know how to describe it, honestly.
Made him the theocratic ruler because America had involved itself so aggressively in Iranian affairs before these people really hated America. And so, thanks to our intervention in that country in the 50s, we made them an enemy for decades to come. This radical regime took dozens of Americans as hostages in our embassy. They sponsored terrorism around the world, and they called us the Great Satan. The moral here is that we should not invade Iran, and we should not.
So think about America now. How many Americans who America never ever wronged feel the same way about America now? Like, some things are just not so simple. Think about the students at Harvard and Columbia University that are really privileged. They're privileged. America did everything for them. Everything. And yet, can you really blame America? Like, can you really say that America wasn't good enough for them and this is why they hate America? No, they hate America because they got brainwashed. And the problem is that America lost in understanding the brainwashing mechanism, not only in other countries, but in its own country, unfortunately. So it's a question. Like, look at that. Look at how many big named Americans, like popular Americans who claim to America first and stuff, are now like made a tweet like, oh, now China should take Taiwan now. Like, I don't know. Maybe just because you did something that was wrong, because you misunderstood something or you took wrong action. No, that doesn't justify. Like, somebody can be like, no, it was not okay. But, or they have like distrust and things like that. But the layman on the street, the average person, they believe what they're being told. So it's not only what's done, but also what's being told to them, or what kind of propaganda. I don't know. I think it's more complex than that.
Support regime change. Sometimes you get something way worse. Like Iraq, you get ISIS. Libya, you get civil war. This has unforeseen and often disastrous consequences. And that's why we should avoid reckless regime change wars when we can. Very often, you get even worse than what you used to get. And right now, if you have regime change in Iran, what do you think you'll get next? You have a regime change in Iran, you'll get a civil war, almost certainly. Oh, who cares if they have a civil war? Oh, okay. Where are all those people going to go? To Europe. They're going to flee. You'll create a refugee crisis. If the Iranian people want to have self-determination and they want to have a new form of government, so be it. We as the West should not be involved. We should not call shots because Iran is only a problem today because we got involved thinking we knew better.
So this is like a very unhealthy mindset of self-hate. And I think more than anything, the mindset is completely wrong. And the assumption that if chaos would erupt because of intervention now, no, chaos would erupt anyway, because it's a ticking time bomb. It's a ticking, The regime, the way it's handling this stuff, the way things are going, it's all a ticking time bomb. So it's a risk, yes. I wouldn't even say that it's not. There is no way this is what's going to happen, and it's the Iranian, like there's going to be a civil war and people like descend into chaos. It could happen, but but it's a risk that is worth taking, because not taking action now is a guaranteed civil war down the road. It's a guaranteed. It's just like the path they were going. It's guaranteed that everything that you described would happen, and it would be 10 times worse. That's what I think. Atheist from Egypt. The last part is idiotic. He doesn't know how the Iranians are aligned politically now. Well, I think we should, when you make risk assessments, you have to take that into account, that it's an option. It's it's always an option. Like, you have to take it into account. I really do think so. So that's mine. My thoughts on it. I just think the mindset is wrong. Sometimes you just have to take risks, because like not doing something, I know that the results of it look bad, but there is always worse. I think people forgot that to every bad, there is worse. What a beautiful, to every bad, there is worse. All right, I kind of want to see if there are any new things that are like something new that is happening right now. So, breaking report: U.S. likely to join Israel's war. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, somebody said, "Remember this? Remember this Economist cover?" Oh, I remember. Israel alone. Yeah, good times. Good times. There is an Italian saying that goes like this. I'm not going to try. Better alone than a bad company. Yeah, okay. Is there anything new that is happening? That's from 3 hours ago. Tonight holds a surprise the world will remember for centuries. All right, that was 14 minutes. Don't sleep tonight, freedom for Iran is near. Well, I'm counting on it, because I completely flipped my sleeping hours. Oh, it's interesting what's going on. All right. I don't see anything interesting. I'm gonna call it live. So yeah, that's interesting. That's what's happening. I myself don't support regime change if it harms the society there. Sweetheart, sometimes a regime change is a way to make sure the harm only stays in one society and doesn't. Like, the Iranians were not keeping it to themselves. Not like you can say North Korea, like they're completely insane, but at least they don't try too hard to take the whole world with them, right? They are more busy preserving their power than they are expanding it. I mean, to an extent. The Iranians, They ruined countries. They ruined lots of countries. They ruined Lebanon. They had no mercy ruining Syria. They had their hands everywhere. Everywhere. The Iranians had their hands everywhere. Everywhere they touch, they ruined countries. So, you know what? Maybe there is a risk for the Iranians here. But I think it is a fair risk now. At some point, you have to make sure that the perpetrator cannot do any more damage to anyone else, first and foremost. And then, right, in case of Iran, where it seems like the people, where clearly there is a large hope that it's people who are captured by a regime rather than a whole society that is ruined, right? So sometimes you have societies that are rotten to the core, like the whole society is rotten to the core. Like you remove the regime and then it's the whole society. But with Iran, at least there is hope. And we should take that, or otherwise Iran needs to be removed. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. It just doesn't make sense. Yes, Islamists in Iran ruined many lives inside and outside of Iran. So the hope is that we can trust the Iranian people to do the right thing. Yes, Israel counts on that. But yeah, it's true that there is a risk of chaos and collapse. But guess what? The alternative is that they would go into chaos and collapse and would take the world with them. So that's a worse. So sometimes you need to take risks and do things that are unpleasant. I hate this mindset of not dirtying your hands. You just don't know what could have been. You know when something is bad, but you don't ever see the things that could have been way worse. So that's my take on that. All right, everybody, I think I'm gonna go to bed. Let me see, I didn't get anything on Buy Me Coffee that I didn't read out loud, because that would be not a good thing to do. All right, okay, so wait, there are more messages from Dan Pollock I didn't read. I was watching a documentary yesterday on 9/11. Why I say torture is like tickling someone until they speak. In comparison to China, Russia, Iran, Venezuela, and Cuba, US losing our shit looked like a Soviet good cop. That is true. There is bad, but there is worse. That is perfectly makes sense. Just in case no new, Iran sells 90% of their oil to China. Also, 2 Chinese military cargo planes shut off their tracking devices and flew into Iran. More than likely weapons. My 2 other Israeli Jews went radio silent months ago, so you do not have permission to die. Okay, thank you. That went dark. Thank you, Dan Pollock, for your support. And thank you, Govan, for gifting membership. Oh, all right. Well, welcome to the club. Welcome to the membership club. All right, everybody. Good night.